Hey there YouTube world, it's Match Wars Welding Geek here, and I've got the next part of my samurai build coming up. If you want to see how I went about making my Kogake, my sabatons, my foot armor for my samurai build, stay tuned to the video. The first thing that I did for this build was make a set of templates. I did this by taking masking tape and making a bunch of layers over top of my boot in each section and then trimming them to fit my boot correctly. So you just layer up a bunch of masking tape, stick it to the boot, and then peel it off, and then you can put that on some poster board and then fine-tune trim that. Now that I have my templates, I'm going to go ahead and trace these out on my aluminum, and I'm going to go ahead and get these all cut out. First step I'm going to do is take it over here to my shear and shear out each individual piece. Just rough cut, not final trimmed, just to get each piece out of the bulk material. And then I'm going to take it over to my roto index punch and use my large 2-inch hole punch to kind of give myself a relief in the internal cuts, so when I take it over to the bandsaw I don't have to make such tight radius curves. That kind of gives you a relief in the bandsaw, just makes life easier trying to cut out your pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get all my stuff cut out here. Since I didn't draw these templates up in AutoCAD, I'm going to go ahead and lay out all my holes by hand. And what I'm doing here is setting my calipers to a certain set dimension, probably a 1/4 of an inch. Then I go ahead and kind of center punch the first hole and then use the caliper to scribe all my other holes so they're all identical. Now I want each half of my foot to have the same amount of holes on this top leading edge because I'm going to link them together with chainmail links. So I'm going to go ahead and clamp these together, making sure they're nice and even, and then drill through them so I have the same amount of holes on each side. Now that I have all my holes in place, I'm going to go ahead and start the forming. I'm first just going to start on this big tube here using a leather mallet to just start to get a rough form. These will need to be formed a lot more with the planishing hammer, but that will be the next step. So I'm using this dolly here just to get a rough round to them, as you can see here. And then with my little toes, I'm just going to use like a 3-inch steel tube, press that down to get my curve started. And then we'll also take these over to the planishing hammer to give them the dome that we need. So now we're at the planishing hammer. I'm just going to planish these until they fit the boot correctly. This takes a lot of work and a lot of fine tuning, but I'm just going to sit here and work with this planishing hammer until each individual part fits nicely on the boot. Now that I have each piece fitting nicely on my boots, I'm going to go ahead and final dress these, hitting the edges with the Scotch-Brite and an angle head sander, kind of smoothing everything out and making it look nice, as you can see here. Now it's time to link these things up. I've got some smaller chainmail links. I'm kind of spreading them apart and fitting them in these holes in the middle like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and squish them, which makes it easier for each side to fit together because there'll be a center link that goes in between these two squished links, and it makes it look pretty rad. So I'm going to go do that, link them together here in this section, and you will see what I mean. Alright, so I got 2 squish links on the sides and then 1 full one in the middle, linking them together. Now I'm going to add some links to the front toe sections here. These will get all the holes filled and then we'll get squished, and then we'll put some on the toes and link them together, both sides being squished, no connecting circle link, I'm just going to link them all together, as you'll see here in a second. I've got my pieces painted now, and I'm going to go ahead and attach them to the boot. I'm just going to do this by using some leather sewing thread and the needles, and you'll see how I go about doing this. I've got an awl here, a pair of scissors, my needles, and I'm basically going to get the first hole stuck and pierced with the awl, and then sneak in the needle from the back side and just tie it on the outside by hand is the method I'm going to use here. I can't fit my needle inside the boot, so I went ahead and just stuck it through 2 holes, looped the thread through, and then tied it in the knot. That made it pretty easy. As you can see here, I have all my pieces tied down. Now I'm going to go ahead and snip each edge and then burn them down with the lighter to melt them together, and that should finish up our boots here. And alright, that was my Kogake build, or my foot armor build for my samurai, for my Mando samurai. This was a kind of just a simple little build. Like I said, I used masking tape, laid a bunch of layers on top of here, traced out the pieces in Sharpie, peeled the masking tape off, put it on some poster board, and cut them out, and then fine-tuned them in the actual fabrication process. It wasn't too very hard, something that you guys should be able to handle. So obviously these templates won't be available at Patreon, but the rest of those templates will be, and that's one way you can support this channel. If you want, head over to my Patreon, I'll link it in here. But yeah, I'm really stoked with how this build has been going. It's been a little slow going, but it's super complex. A lot of the time I've been spending right now has been in just trying to figure out the helmet. That build will be over at weld.com, like I said before. What's coming up next on my channel will be the chest, the cuirass, or the do, I think it's called it in Japanese. I think I could be wrong on that, but that will be the next build. That one will be mostly consist of me showing you just the fabrication process of the front section, and then I'll kind of explain how I laced everything together, even though I've already shown that all in other videos. But it'll be just not necessarily the last video in this build, because I still want to do like a dark saber themed katana out of wood or something. I'm thinking about doing that, and some other little components to this build that will kind of wrap it all together as that Mando build. And like I said, helmet will be at weld.com. If you have not seen already, my first video is up over there at weld.com. I really appreciate it if you're watching this video, if you'd head over there and support me over there too. It's an awesome opportunity. I'm thrilled to have it. And I'll link that video here in this one if I can do that. I'm pretty sure I can. But it's a fun video, just kind of me showing off some of the talents that I have, my TIG welding, gas welding, and making a cool video, and they edited it awesome. So I'd appreciate your support over there too, if you're willing to. Other ways to support me is just simply subscribing to this channel, liking, commenting. You guys have heard it a billion times before if you're on YouTube. That really does help support everybody's channel. So if you're somebody that jumps on somebody's channel continually, just hit that subscribe button. It really helps out a lot. Gets our content into the YouTube verse, and getting YouTube to actually recommend our content to new people. So does liking, and so does commenting. That's why everybody says it. It actually helps with getting our content to new people. So if you'd be willing to do that for me, that'd be amazing. If not, I get it. I've been on YouTube before I was a YouTube user too. Anyway, yeah, so that's what's coming up on the Welding Geek next. I know it's been slow going. It's been a super complex build, The parts are easy, but weaving everything together, making sure everything fits. Like a lot of the time I've been spending is actually fine-tuning this helmet in, trying to get it built before I actually do the video over there at weld.com, because I want to make sure I bring my super A game. And over there I'm actually going to go through, it's going to be a series of videos on the helmet. My plan is to actually go and show the templating process, and that is quite the process. It's been going on about 2 months now that I've been just kind of here and there working on that to get it to the way I like it, and so far it's coming out amazing. So I'm stoked about that. And I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. The next one will be probably a little longer because there's a lot of build there, but I'm going to try to hone it down a little tighter as well. So I think that's it. My name is Matt Schwartz. I'm the Welder Geek. Thanks so much for watching, guys.